Well, hello there, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. I'm Nova Whiteman. I'm the author of Awake and Aligned: How to Navigate the Human Experience as a Spiritual Being. And that's what we're doing with this channel, is we're figuring out all sorts of ways, access points, strategies to be more conscious and intentional in the way we show up in our lives, both in terms of consciously creating the very best for ourselves and those around us and the world, but enjoying ourselves along the way, right? That's part of it too. So this is kind of a continuation of the last video I did. I mentioned that I asked my audience, what do you struggle with the most on this journey of consciousness and alignment? And that was with the intention to create some sort of bite-sized pieces of conscious content to answer those questions and help everybody out, because they're really common things in the human experience when you're on this more spiritual, aware, awake, intentional path. And one of the questions that came in that was repeated, a few of you wrote in about this one, in different ways. But essentially, it boils down to, you know how it is when you're really wanting to get started on something. You have a plan or an inspiration or a point of clarity, and you feel really good about it. It feels resonant, it feels aligned, and then life happens. So, an example of this, life happens to thwart it or shift your plans, I guess is what I mean. An example of this would be, like you have something you want to launch in your business, or you want to launch your business and you're clear on everything. You've got it all ready to go. And then the next day you get sick. And so everything that you had planned, all the people, all of the resources, all the things that you had to bring together in order to make that happen, it's like you have to redo it all, or just change your plans altogether. So what the people who wrote in with these kind of questions were essentially asking is, what does that mean? Does that mean, is that a sign from the universe that says, never mind, this isn't the right path, abort, choose something else? Or does it mean something else? And I think that's a great question, because when you're on this conscious path, and it usually does involve paying attention to signs, synchronicities, serendipities, paying attention to the guidance that comes to us in various ways. That's a big part of it. So when something like that happens, it does, like, that's where your mind tends to go at first. Like, no, wait a minute. I was really clear about this. And my rule of thumb is that when we're making a choice about something that we want to do that requires action or some sort of like physical follow through or output from us, um, that it's always in our highest good to first and foremost make those decisions from as high of a state of alignment as you can. What does that mean? That means it's not coming from a place of emotional reactivity, a place of fear, a place of lack. It's coming from a place of like, you're feeling good, you're feeling clear and connected, tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and then you have this idea, or and then you make this choice. When you do that, you're seeing clearly. I always talk about different states of alignment being, you can look at it as having different vantage points. When you're not aligned, when you're not connected, when you are being, more emotionally reactive, or you're just tired or hungry or whatever, and you're looking at your life, or you're trying to plan something, you're doing it with limited access. You can only see, let's say, 10 feet in front of you. But let's say you sleep on it, you get some energy back, or you go exercise, or you go outside and you go for a walk in nature, or put your bare feet in the grass, and anything that raises your vibration gives you a higher access point, or gives you access to a higher vantage point, rather. So that means you can see farther, you can see more clearly, you can trust what you're thinking, or intuiting, or considering. So, there are things that you can do to get yourself to that higher vantage point. I named a few already. Having a daily alignment practice is key. Anything that just intentionally gets you to that better feeling, higher vibrating state of clarity, where you just know, you can, we describe it with words like, that feels resonant, or I am clear that, or it just feels right that blank. So that's first and foremost, what you are, best served to strive to do, especially when making the bigger decisions in life. If it's the little like moment to moment decisions, um, it's not always conducive to be like, okay, wait, before I choose what to have for breakfast, or where to go get coffee or whatever it might be, some trivial little thing. Let me just, go do my full daily alignment practice first. Not always conducive. But having a daily alignment practice kind of accounts for that because it's training you into that higher vantage point space so that all of those little decisions will more naturally or organically come from that place. But when it's the biggies, when it's stuff that sort of, the stakes are higher, um, then it is always going to be in your best interest to make sure you're not making your choice from a lower place or an emotionally reactive, tired, hungry, etc., misaligned state, right? So that's kind of step one. And then when you do that and you notice something come into the picture to sort of, it appears like it's thwarting that or negating that or almost like, well, never mind, that's a sign from the universe. It does beg the question, like, well, then why did I feel so clear? Why was it resonant and so aligned for me a moment ago, but then this happened? Now there's a couple of answers to that, but I'm going to give you one perspective here that I think can really help you navigate these situations. Um, but first and foremost, you're always, like I said, it's strive to make those decisions from a higher place, because then when you've done that and then this happens, something comes into the picture to sort of thwart it or redirect it or stop it, then at least it's not because you made the wrong decision. Something else is at play, because when you do make decisions from a higher vantage point of alignment, it's always the right decision. It may not match what you thought was going to happen as a result of making that decision, but it's always the right decision. So it kind of weeds out that possibility of, oh, this is the universe telling me, nope, you made the wrong choice. Never mind. Abort. Stop. Go back to go. Do not pass go, collect 200. That's my Monopoly reference. Ignore that. I got it wrong anyway. Um, so when it is an aligned choice and you get everything going, and then the universe seems to step in and say, yeah, never mind, there are several reasons why that could be. Um, the one that I want to kind of speak to that I think happens the most frequently is along the lines of life is simply just helping you out when that happens. It's informing you of sort of the micro steps along that path. It's best to give you an example. So I'm somebody who, being a business owner and a solopreneur, I hire out a lot of stuff and delegate tasks, but at the end of the day, it's me. I'm also somebody who's a very energetically sensitive, intuitively based decision maker. So I could plan all day long, but me actually following that plan is another story, because I don't know what the energy is going to be like that day. I just kind of flow with what as things unfold. So I usually have sort of a loose plan, and I try to give myself a lot of spaciousness with dates and deadlines, etc., because I know things can change. And I know, and here's the answer to this question, or one of them, um, is that there's things that I don't know about, and life is going to show me what they are to the degree and at the rate that it's useful for me. So let's say I plan out my week. I'm somebody who usually takes Mondays to herself. I don't do any calls. I don't take any clients. I pretty much don't even talk to anybody on Mondays, because I'm trying to get myself into as high of a state and clarity and recovering from the weekend, etc. So that's my day, right? And usually on Mondays, I'll take a look at my schedule and I'll kind of have a rough estimate or guesstimate of how the rest of the week is going to go. Now, of course, there's actual appointments and sessions like those I keep, but I'm talking about the rest of it, what I do when it's not scheduled time. And so this week, I did that, and I had Tuesday all laid out to just like, all right, I'm going to write the copy for this next masterclass I'm going to be offering. I only have a couple things on the schedule, session wise or talk wise that day. So I'm going to take the morning and I'm going to do this, and I'm just going to get into the flow and write like a mofo. That did not happen. That was my plan. And honestly, it was part of a larger plan of when I was sort of planning out this masterclass schedule and the dates and how far apart and what needs to happen in between these things. It's a lot of work, first of all. And it can be really hard to predict. And so that was all along going to be my day to work on it. Well, I woke up on Tuesday and guess what? I had no energy, no no clarity, no inspiration, and I know myself well enough to know that if it's not available, it's not available. I can make my attempts to get my energy up there because sometimes that is all it takes. Like maybe you're just a little tired, you go for a walk, you come back, you're energized. Now I can get into flow and do some creative work. I knew that that was not the case though. I just was like, you know what? The only option is to go back to bed. And that was hard because I'm a solopreneur, but I'm also a mother of two. I've got a lot going on, so my time is so precious, and it often feels like it's limited. And so to give up that planned or intended time, it's not easy. So I could look at that and I could say like, well, no, this was the intention or part of the bigger picture of my intentions. And then I would just wake up and I just don't have energy. Like I'm not sick. I wasn't sick. I just literally had no energy. What's up with that, universe? Is that the universe telling me something? Is it trying to thwart? In this case, and this is something that you have to kind of do on a case by case basis and also utilize your intuition and your ability to interpret what's unfolding and trust in that interpretation. Another video. Uh, but in this case, that was information. Um, I was looking at my schedule and how I was going to be timing these master classes, and I had a date set, and it was all kind of at that point contingent upon my ability to do what needed to be done. Writing the copy so that people sign up for the class is kind of a big deal. I like to do that myself because I don't think anybody can express my voice the way that I can. And then when it came down to it, I just literally had no access to that energy. And then, well, guess what? It's too late. It's down to the wire. Don't have the time. I'm not meeting the deadlines that I would need to meet in order to make this class happen. So does that mean ditch the class? No, it's information. That's the universe stepping in and saying, hey, you know what? It's actually going to work better for you to do it on this date because of all these cooperative components that you don't know about, but we know about. And it's just the most conducive, aligned path. So, in order to stop you from writing probably so copy that day, if you had the energy to do it, we're just going to shut this shit down. And actually, it's going to behoove you to rest because that's what I ended up doing on Tuesday is I had afternoon appointments. Tuesday morning that was meant for writing, I went back to sleep and I slept gloriously until my evil cat stepped on my face and woke me up. So my point is I listened to that. I didn't take it as like, oh, what are the chances? The one day I needed for this. The universe, your life will work with you if you're looking for it and looking through that lens. In that case, I had to just sort of surrender and let go of the control there, like let go of my attachment to how I thought this was going to go or how it should look or even what I preferred, and just follow what was in the space, what was being shown to me. So when your life unfolds, you can actually look at it as information. And it's usually not black and white. Like I said, this was not black and white. Do the masterclass, don't do the masterclass. This was, okay, clearly I'm not supposed to be working on this today. I am at deadline, so that means I'm gonna have to shift the date. And I don't know why, but I'm going to trust that because it's in the space. And that is working in harmony with this very core alignment belief that I call embracing what is. Or another way of putting that is life is always working for you, never against you. I know sometimes it can look that way, and I have moments where I can insist that it is that way. but it's not that way. And like everything, any kind of belief or any kind of structure you have for or view of the world, belief system, whatever you want to call it, the way in which you navigate this human experience, you could be wrong. We don't know. We don't know for sure until we kick the bucket and return to source and remembrance of who we really are and how it really works. And we have a better understanding of these things. In our human form, we just do the best we can. And we choose the beliefs that resonate, that feel like truth for us. And for better or for worse, you got to live it. If you don't choose, you are in limbo, and it makes this whole navigating the human experience thing damn near impossible. So that is a belief that I definitely choose and that I offer to all my clients, and at least just to try on and then observe the effects of it. And if the effects are good, then you should keep that belief. It is, if it is serving you, then it is functional, and it's, who cares if it's ultimately true, it's working for you. So that is an active belief here, is that if life is always working for me, if it's in the space, it's serving a higher purpose, then I can look at what's unfolding, what shows up unexpectedly, not as thwarting, not as like deterring me or testing me or anything like that. It's information. It's guidance. I woke up, I mean, I was on the fence. I wasn't sure about these dates. I woke up, I had no energy. Guess what? I'm sure about these dates. So think about that in terms of your own life. And, you know, obviously there's a lot to our own lives and our day-to-day experiences. We got a lot going on. So try to choose one or two little pieces and look a little bit closer. If you're unsure about something, if you're looking for guidance, or if you're starting something and something unfolds that doesn't seem to match your plans, rather than being discouraged by it, look at it. If it was a piece of information, vital intel from the universe, what might it be telling you? What might it be offering to you or showing you is a better way than the way you had originally or initially planned? That not only helps you navigate better and more clearly and consistently on a path of alignment, it gives you ease, it gives you reassurance, and it kind of eliminates, or at the very least reduces, the amount of frustration and resistance and all that stuff that stops us or throws us out of alignment on this path. So try that out for yourself, or look at any aspect of your life that is of any kind of significance right now or particular importance, and look to see what is being reflected to you in your experience. This can be in the form of your energy levels, like I just gave in my example. It could be like, oh, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to hire this person, and you go to do that and they're not available. You can't hire them. Well, that's information. That's not bad luck. That's not bad timing. That's information. It can be, I'm going to go put an offer on this house, and it gets rejected, or somebody else's offer gets accepted. That's not a shitty thing that happened. That's information. That house wasn't for you. So it does take your awareness and your willingness to see through this lens. And then I always recommend, like, observe it, document it, take note of what happens and how things work out. So I might not ever be able to tell you what it would have worked out with as if I held my masterclass on that original date that I intended. But now that I've moved the date, I can then observe what happens from there. And if my experience is good, the results are good, it's well received, then I can say, hey, I'm glad the universe took away my energy on Tuesday. And I listened to that bit of information instead of trying to plow forward and create time and unnecessary stress that I didn't need and time that I didn't have, right? So I hope that makes sense. I know that's a little bit more heady, but I would love to hear from you and hear how that resonates, how that lands. If you want to put it in the comments, or if you're seeing this in an email, reply to the email, or on Facebook or wherever, that'd be great. Let's figure this stuff out together. And speaking of the masterclass, I am offering one. I don't have a date for you in this video. I mean, I have it in mind, but I don't want to say it because I haven't gathered all the information yet. But it is this month in May 2023 at the time that I'm recording this. So be on the lookout for that. And it will be about learning how to trust yourself, trust your intuition, trust the guidance that's coming through um, from the universe, from signs, synchronicities, things unfolding. How the heck do we do that? How do we relinquish control, let go, and really work with what's coming through, what we're feeling and sensing when the physical evidence doesn't always seem to match that? That was a big question that came through. So I thought, um, screw an alignment break video. I'm going to teach a whole class on it. So be on the lookout for that. And if you're not on my email list, that's the best way to be on the lookout for that class and not miss out. You can sign up for that at novawhiteman.com. It's in the show notes here, but also you just scroll down to the bottom of my website. There's a box that says want more alignment. Put in your name and email address there. And not only will you receive emails from me, not in a bombarded sort of way, because I don't roll that way. I'm usually not, like I said, I don't plan things well, so that's not a problem for me. But you'll also get my free e-course, 3 days to raising your vibration, and it just takes you through a email sequence right to your inbox that literally walks you through a process to raise your frequency, get you into the receptive mode and into the next highest aligned version of who you really are. And it's doable. Anyone can do it. So you'll receive that too when you sign up. And I hope to see you there and hope to see you at the masterclass later this month. Let me know how this video landed with you and any thoughts you might have. And until next time. Oh, and if there's anything that you want me to speak to, it's not too late to email me or comment and let me know what you struggle with in the human experience as a spiritual being, navigating it, making sense of it, knowing how to show up in the most aligned, conscious, and intentional way. Let me know, and I will do my damnedest to create something of value for you, some conscious content. It is my pleasure to do so. And in return, I would love it if you'd hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share, do all the things. Let's get this information out to more people because this is the direction our world is headed in, living from our deepest senses versus just our logical left brain all the time. The world is changing if you haven't noticed. So that would be helpful. Until next time, take care.